easy champion to burst down.
As you guys saw when the graphic came up, when the Jarvan was locked in, the champion's only been played 5 times so far at Worlds with only 1 single victory. So hasn't exactly been a real power pick here. We'll see how that does going up against the Xin Zhao that we've seen so much of throughout this tournament, especially as we already mentioned, Ning has played a ton of that. We'll see how well he does up against it because he will need to make plays to get his team going.
And playmaking will be so critical because you look at Jace and Rom Lucian, you know where their bread is buttered the most. It's in the early game. There's a lot of priority mid and bot lane, and yes, the Akali left on a bit of an island, but if she can just farm it out and they can get advantages like C9 were able to over the Afrika Freaks in bot lane, you definitely need to check yourself. Yes, Hjarnan and Wadid are very good at absorbing pressure, but the pressure is only ratcheting up both in the fact that we're in Guangzhou, we're in the World Semifinals, and the draft here does telegraph go bot lane and get some kills.
It certainly does. You also have to say, though, that this Swain is not the split push style. It's more about team fighting, and we'll see if they go there.
Battle lines are drawn, champions are out onto the Rift, and it's 5 games, or potentially as low as 3 that stand between one of these two teams and a trip to the final match of Worlds 2018. Let's see how they play it out here at the level 1. See Jackie Love has eyes on Wadid there, but not going to get much more than a single auto attack off.
And we got an answer to a question very early in this draft of how would IG approach fighting fire with fire or trying to change the battlefield. They went the fire route, which of course is a very good sign for an exciting best of 5 here. They went for the early Akali. We've seen it from the Shy. We know Rookie can play it. The Jace also was flexible. So it seems like we're going pound for pound, which is exactly what you want because there's the potential for a lot of styling in terms of the solo lanes, especially in this game.
It's going to be really interesting, though, because you do feel like while Aatrox can split push, if Perkz doesn't get way ahead, this feels like a team fighting comp from G2, and that is not where they have had their success.
No.
When you think about, game 3, G2 versus RNG, they went for a team fight style. That game went very poorly for them. Yes, Wunder can get a side lane advantage, but generally you then, on Swain, take that side lane advantage to the fights, to the objectives, where you try to get that work done.
And in that same game 3 against RNG, it was Wunder and Hjarnan that were just really behind the entirety of the game, and it kept G2 from ever being able to set themselves up. This is a team that struggles if they can't get those solo laners ahead. We'll see the Shy now finding some early damage onto Wunder.
So the Shy went straight to lane and actually froze the wave to make it push towards him. Not true freeze, but it's pushing towards the side of the Shy and forced Wunder into taking a damage trade. So nice lane spacing there and a punish you can do if you expect the enemy top laner to be helping with a leash.
You can see how hard it can be to actually trade into the Swain, though. Even with his Grasp procced, he already had that prep from getting combat, still lost the trade with 2 Grasp procs on the Swain.
And as you can see, as is typical of blue side jungling these days, bottom side, Ning in the river at level 2. Yanko's coming up the river to top side level 2 here as well. Shy will manage to find himself that Shroud on the level up, which means he gets away safely as Ning didn't have the opportunity to make anything happen bottom. He'll just grab the Scuttle Crab and move into that enemy jungle. Doesn't look like he'll find too much.
Getting a lot of value out of this ward. Very, very tricky to pull off a turret dive here. But Alistair's only level 1, so given that, he's going to hang around. Probably just go take the Gromp. Bit of ships in the night action at level 1 as some aggressive trades already coming out.
Jackie Love knows how to go aggressive as mid lane. It's going to be Rookie maybe in some trouble now. Chain's going to find their way down, but Rookie steps out of the way, smacks Perkz back, and walks out.
Yeah, very nicely done there by Rookie, just going out the side of the chains. If you run along horizontally with it, you will get pulled back. So, calm under pressure there from Rookie, and certainly not expecting anything else from this guy who has been an absolute monster this tournament.
He has done so much work for the side of Invictus Gaming, and honestly, I can't give him praise without also giving Perkz praise because Perkz has done a lot of heavy lifting for his team as well. Remember, it was his LeBlanc performance in the 5th and final game of that quarterfinal that really put them over the edge and made them find that win.
And remember game 4, he popped off on the Aatrox mid lane and was, 5,000 gold up in his matchup against Xiaohu. So when it comes to hard carry, you'd have to say Perkz really put the bootstraps on and hard carried G2 to this semi-final. But the Jace, which we have already outlined, is a big pick for Rookie. Wasn't able to get that important win in the last game of the final, but it wasn't because of Rookie. He was fantastic, and this is a good matchup for the Jace.
It really is, and that's why so much of the question becomes, can Perkz have that incredible performance once more. Can he repeat that? Because it was a Herculean effort from him. He dominated those last 2 games, but it felt like they needed that to stay in the games, to be able to win those games. And if he can replicate that sort of performance against Rookie, you could see G2 in the finals.
But I think there is a tipping point in this matchup, going on to where this game goes, assuming there's not a big snowball early from IG. Several wave crew in the mid lane with Alistar roaming around, that's very standard. Aatrox versus Jace with 2-3 items is heavily Aatrox favored. There's only one disengage from the Jace with his hammer hit back, and after that, I think Aatrox could roll over, but the laning phase is susceptible. He's down 20 CS early. He has to give up a lot of control, and if IG snowball, and Braum Lucian is a big spoiler for a snowball attempt, this could just be a game that's decided before Aatrox is really online.
It certainly can, and when you have a matchup going like this, you have to see G2. Oh, is he going for the solo kill?
Perk's going to be taken very low. Rookie here as well, both below 100 HP.
God.
Ooh, one more tick would have done it to either side, but they'll both go home alive.
And that is a big alarm going off. Junglers come to mid lane. Summoners down. They're going to be returning. And, we saw Fnatic get Caps back in when he fell way down against Rookie in a similar situation. We have to now see, can G2 find the time while they were being pressured on the bottom side to get Wooded up there, to get Jankos there, to help out Perks and get him back into the game.
And let's consider how the challengers have faced Rookie, the dubbed best mid laner at the tournament, basically consensus by everyone. Most people have just been going into negating matchups. Think of Yukal, who was so good in group stages, and he was jumping on to Urgot mid lane duty, building magic resist as fast as possible to try to negate Rookie's impact. This is a skill matchup that is pretty beneficial to the side of Rookie, and it's pretty one-sided, honestly, in the early game. So this is definitely Perks taking a risk. Both teams know that. And speaking of both teams knowing, the junglers are hovering on the bot side.
Ming going in, looking to find some damage onto Jankos here. Recognizing the fact that he's got the level advantage means the fight's going to go his way. Jankos down to about half HP, but he'll still be able to clear the jungle rather easily. Both junglers heading away from the bottom side now as the Shy looking to find himself the solo kill here in the top lane onto Wonder, who pops the ultimate, heals himself up there a little bit, forcing the Shy back away. Wonder still hanging around on this one. The Demonic Ascension yet to trigger the explosion. The Shy staying well away from that.
Still, that's flashes force from both the solo laners of G2, while both the Shy and Rookie have theirs available. Ning is closing in on 6 on this Jarvan. He still has his flash, and you have to feel like that hard commit is going to be coming, especially when Wonder has no ultimate available. Very vulnerable on the swing.
And his solo lanes are already hard in your mouth stuff, and we're 6 minutes into the first game of this series. The level 6 ping on a minion there was critical, otherwise Wonder's going to be solo killed. Nobody goes down. As you say, both summoners down. Still definitely some room for Zinja to roam as Perks gets a nice hello as he comes back to mid lane.
Yeah, the accelerated shock blast. Not the most polite greeting these days, but man, IG's solo lanes putting in work here early on, and that was a lot of people's concerns when they looked stylistically at this matchup and how G2 sets up the win condition. 1-3-1 works when your solo lanes are coming out even or ahead from the early game. And if this continues, IG is going to put them in a very tough spot, as Ning does have the level 6, the Cataclysm ready to go. If you go after Perks, you've got to keep World Ender in mind.
And he was spotted on that pink ward. He didn't actually check the brush as he walked by, so they think they have full vision of this area. Bao Lan going to stroll by as well, and G2 can waste some time here.
Rookie doing a good job knocking Perks back. World Ender going to be used, but he'll still get himself away.
Anything he can do to keep alive in this mid lane and pick up CS where he can is all you can really ask. That ward is getting so much value from the side of G2 because IG think they have full control. It also allows Jankos to know, I need to be hovering around mid lane to stop this turret going down.
Yeah, I mean, Perks can't even stay on the turret to pick up the experience at this point, though. With Ning there, with Rookie there, no ult on Aatrox, no summoners available. He is losing a lot here.
This is kind of what we were expecting from IG in the early game. This is a much more ferocious team as the game starts out. G2 typically content to just play more passive, take very little risks, and just build themselves up to a moderate lead as the mid game comes. But IG's much more bloodthirsty as Ning moves in towards that blue buff. Second round of the buff starting to spawn now, and IG sees that's a chance to fight, as now Jankos could be in some trouble. Good use of the ult there to make sure the accelerated shock blast won't find him, and IG gets out.
But these passage plays are the flow-on effect of mid lane basically being vacant in terms of pressure. They don't have the ability to push up unless they see people elsewhere. You're very much susceptible to dying. Speaking of dying.
And mid.
Oh boy, Perks does not have his World Ender ready to go anymore. Flash also not going to be available. Ning goes in, drops down the Cataclysm. Perks going to be stunned up there. The Jace comes in. Rookie's able to find himself some damage, and first blood goes over to IG.
And the floodgates are going to be opening here. The Shy looking to get aggressive top lane too.
not going to find anything else on that one. Ning makes his way up here, and this guy is just pathing back and forth, always looking to get involved in some kind of a scrap.
It's so tough for Jankos because the solo laners are both losing. It's allowing Ning to walk around, get in his face nonstop, and now it's not just the 30 CS, which alone is massive at 9 minutes. It's first blood here, too, on the Jace, and Rookie may very well have a full Ghost Blade, and he does. That is just such a terrible spot for Perkz to be in.
We're going to talk about how the fact that Perkz was under turret almost the entire time. There was double control ward, as we noted. About the entrances there, Perkz wanted one more wave. We've all tried it. We've all died to it. 3 men come in. Perkz goes down. It ends up being a trivial thing that the first blood is recorded, but it's the combination of pressure in the first 10 minutes that allows IG to stick about a 1,500 gold lead.
And what's better than first blood? First blood on the best mid laner in the world is what IG is looking at right now with that Ghost Blade ready to go. It means he's only going to be that much more deadly. Perkz on the Aatrox had to go for the Ninja Tabby rush to try to make sure that he takes as little damage as possible from this endless onslaught, but it's only going to get worse now that Rookie has blue.
And while it is very concerning what is happening here in mid lane, top lane has stabilized. The ult is back for Wunder. He's not very behind. Bottom lane is within striking distance as well. And G2 should outscale. They should be able to have the advantage going into team fights. So if they can withstand the onslaught and not allow it to get worse than it already is, there is certainly a path to victory still very well available.
Light at the end of the tunnel isn't always big, as Jackie Love's going to take a bit of free damage here.
And not too much. Still going to be a little bit over half as Jankos makes his way down into the bottom lane, seeing if maybe there's a fight to be had. But Ning's also going to be showing up here now, too. Could be a big 3 versus 3. Balon going in. Ning's able to find the knock-up onto Yarn. It might be in some trouble here. Going to be headbutted backwards. Able to find the Cataclysm down to all 3 now as Ning's going to be dropped first. And G2 gets everybody out. It's 1 for 0.
Really big that Jankos able to get into the brush unexplored and thus able to pick up the first kill. It's turned on to Ning instantly. Communication advantage as they knew that they would have the ability to cleanly turn on to 1 while IG went in. Rookie sniffs around but won't find anything. Nice little counterpoint as top lane is going better for the Shy than we first might have thought.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, he's traded so aggressively. The ult's forced out again, and he still has his ultimate available. So the Shy is finding a way to win this matchup that, I have certainly heard people talk about as a very tough one to win.
The Shy is having a heyday in the top lane, completely taken over up here, and this is tragedy so far here in the early game for G2. Despite the fact that they got the kill on the bottom side, it's those 2 solo laners that are so critical that are falling behind now as Wadid makes himself available here in the mid lane to help Perkz out a little bit. We'll get the flash out from Rookie.
And the thing we have to remember is they sacked mid lane pressure to get the Swain matchup, to get a preferential matchup somewhere. They ended up going with Wunder. They end up focusing on the Swain. So the moment you see those plays come through, you do get concerned as a G2 fan, even if bot lane is a happy moment.
Did thinking about the Hex Flash over the wall. As he went on to Jackie, won't be able to find everything. He's looking for Ning in the bottom side, trying to force down this tier 1 turret. They won't quite be able to find it, but they will force Yarnan back. The Shy goes into the smoke. Now going to be ganked by Wunder, gets himself away for now, and uses the ulti to make sure the escape is clean.
At the very least, that pressure there from Jankos means that the ultimate is down from Akali. Much less chance of him being able to actually get the solo kill now on Wunder, but they are bleeding damage on these turrets. The bottom lane turret is already down. Mid lane turret is at about 1/3 HP here as well. And G2 certainly looking like they're in danger.
It's evolved into 3 losing lanes and also this jungle control on the side of IG, which is not the plan they went in with. We said 2 preferential lanes in mid and bot lane, but top lane evolving has put G2 in a worrying state.
And things are going IG's way across the board. They got themselves first blood, they got themselves first turret, they got themselves first Drake, and this is a team that boasts impressive stats upon securing those objectives. They do a wonderful job snowballing and making sure everything just becomes that much more as the game goes on. And for G2, that's definitely a point of worry as you're now down 2,000 gold, 13 minutes.
But I have a counter stat for you, Captain Flowers. I came prepared for
all right, what do you got, Papa Smithy?
The stat I've got here is that G2 are actually 3-3 on first turrets when it comes to actually acquiring them. They're not going to pick up a lot of the first turret. First turret isn't necessarily as indicative of them picking up a victory. They have been, again, focusing on 1-3-1. That takes usually a couple of items to turn online. This is how we expected mid and bot to go. Yes, top has gone a bit worse than expected, but it's always about stabilizing the bleeding. We're not bleeding out just yet.
They certainly aren't just yet, but you have to feel like if IG gets the mid turret, if they get the top turret in these next couple of minutes, things are going to start looking very, very grim for G2. So IG want to continue pushing the pace. They have their top lane heading up to top. They have pressure from the Jace still in the mid lane, and the Shy is going to continue that split push on the bottom side.
And speaking of pushing the pace, I actually think it's an interesting thing to bring up when you're talking about a team like IG, and we keep mentioning how explosive they are and how much they like to fight. This was a team that averaged very fast game times, the fastest of all teams during groups at 27 minutes and 53 seconds, but during quarters, they slowed it down, averaging 35 minutes and 10 seconds, pretty much 7 minutes slower, and they became the slowest average time for the quarterfinal matchups.
And one of those reasons certainly was KT being able to dictate the pace of some of those games, KT absorbing some of their pressure so incredibly well. And it'll be interesting to see if G2 is able to do the same, because if they are, then the composition really does start to come online. Then it really can start to favor G2.
Let's see if IG can find themselves anything here. Hjarnan popping the ulti, making sure they disengage that one as soon as they see IG prowling around, but it seems like IG always has that foot on the accelerator, just tapping it, if nothing else, looking for another play to make.
I mean, it's got the big item finishes, Captain Flowers. Hextech Gunblade versus not much on the side of Swain. The Yomas was done earlier. The one-item Power Spikes are either incomplete from G2 or outclassed by what IG is able to get early, which just accentuates the accelerator that IG is able to place in. All G2 can do is scream and go in a different direction until they get that scaling online.
Well, it looks like Shelly's going the way of IG as well. They've already secured every objective in the game that's been taken so far. Why not keep that stat together as Jackie grabs the second turret of the game for his team as well?
And you have to feel like with top and bot down, mid, low, and the Rift Herald secured, that is signifying the last of the outers will fall very early on. And we're at 15 minutes with, that is the reality that G2 is facing here. All it's going to take is Ning to walk up and drop that Rift Herald. If G2 is not there and interrupting that or 5-man defending that, the turret is going to be gone.
Meanwhile, Jackie keeps farming up in the top side. 25 advantage in terms of his farm over what's been collected by Hjarnan so far. Again, G2 isn't a team that primarily plays around the bottom lane. A lot of times you will expect Hjarnan and Wadid to just take the loss there on the bottom side, be out-farmed. We saw that happen a lot in this series versus RNG, but the troubling issue is it's also happening elsewhere.
Yeah.
IG just seems to be winning across the map. For G2, they've got to find some way to play their game when the 1-3-1 strategy is not in any sort of a place to actually start popping off as we make our way into the mid-game at 16 minutes.
And the silver linings will soon start to go away post-20 when the game becomes Baron-focused, because G2 haven't been able to get to the river, really, with any reliability. They have a couple of wards in that area now, but they can't split the map very well. They kind of want to play wherever the enemy isn't, given where the current items are at. And in a meta where there's so much burst damage, so much pick potential, if you're behind in vision at 18 minutes and the Baron dies by 22, you're not going to be too surprised.
Yeah.
That is kind of the meta right now. There's a lot of damage, a lot of reliable CC, and that means you try to contest vision as, pretty overall squishy team. You die real fast.
Yeah, I mean, there's double lethality already in here for Jace. If you hit a Shock Blast onto Hjarnan out of Fog, he's basically out of the fight. He just has to go back.
While mid lane is the calling coming out from Jackie Love to make sure Shelly gets off that second charge on the tier 2 turret here. As the Simmer ulti gets popped with did going in, able to find the knockup onto 2, but now going to be disengaged mostly. Balon having to back up as Jankos looks to go in, find even more damage onto Ning, who gets himself out with a nice EQ combo. Perkz coming around from the side now as well. Jackie popping the blade of the Moon King, keeping himself in a good spot. Perkz going to be slowed, and G2 will not be able to run down Invictus Gaming.
And that was a lot of cooldowns used there. They used the Aatrox ultimate as well as both the bottom lane ultimates to try to get this engaged. IG will be able to back off. They get the first turret. They almost get the second as well because the Rift Herald was kind of left unchecked as they went for the engage.
But if you think about what the primary objective from G2 was, it wasn't to get a pentakill, it wasn't going to happen.
No.
It was to get them away from the inner turret that looked to be dying to multiple ranged auto attackers, and the attack speed buff the Jarvan is able to pick up. They don't overinvest at the end, only Wadid has to really go super deep, and they do actually get a bit of breathing room, which right now is not usually their decision to make.
Well, breathe while you can, because IG is not going to let you do it much longer. Yanko's going to be in some trouble here as Balon goes forward, looking to find the knockup with the Glacial Fissure. That's going to be kill number 1. Perkz going to be in some trouble now, too. Legit having to get himself away, gets knocked up into that smite, and that is 2 going the way of Invictus Gaming. Jackie looking to make it 3, but Wonder gets himself away, and IG are just coming up time and again.
This is just great play here from IG. The immediate punish. They know the ultimates are down on Widid, on Perks as well, so they go into the jungle, they force another fight, and now they come to collect the spoils. The tier 2 tower is going to be under fire.
2 kills, and they also interrupt the back from Wonder. He's not going to be able to contest this wave, so in a turret goes down. This is all pre-20 minutes, guys. The Baron still hasn't spawned.
Jackie loves 1-0-0. He's up 20 CS. He's playing a part in all these fights, and he's on a champion he hasn't even played yet at the tournament. Let's take another look at how it happened.
We also should consider what happened just previously. They used everything to try to get them away from the inner turret, and then 2 people walk into an unwarded rush to get a red buff. They end up losing their biggest majority shift of the game's tempo to the red buff take, and that seems like too little an objective to give up too much of a cost.
Yeah, and IG are taking away so many of these jungle camps now, trying to fight aggressively for them. And that is really helping them to develop this lead. With both the mid lane turrets gone, Baron becomes much more easy for IG to actually set up around, for them to access, and it's harder and harder for G2 to get vision in that area. And we're quickly approaching the spawn of that Baron, where focus will start to be on this side of the map.
5,000 gold deficit shy of 20 minutes is not where G2 Esports wanted to find themselves here in this first game, as Invictus Gaming move into the Drake pit to grab themselves the second Drake of the game. Will be Ocean number 2, so a measurable amount of sustain coming in now for these guys. Even if they take some damage from a skirmish with G2, they'll be able to heal it off.
But I want the viewers to look at the items here and think about when they're strongest and when they will become strongest. Because you look at the side of specifically IG, lethality, very much front-ended power when you have low armor values of penetrating through that armor. Black Cleaver and Blade of the Ruin King, a 2-item power spike that doesn't really build up with a 3rd, 4th item. You kind of need to get later into a build. G2 have a no-stack Rod of Ages, need 10 minutes for that. Storm Razor that wants to build into a 3-item power spike. They're not able to fight with the same firepower. They're 6,000 gold behind, and IG are at their strongest point, while G2 are close to their weakest.
And that's why they're just sacrificing this turret. They're putting Perks in the top lane. They're saying, all right, let's take a trade, get some gold back here, and try to fight for what we can.
And this is what I was talking about with G2 earlier. They are risk averse. They're trying to minimize these losses, not put themselves in a spot where you just gamble it all on one fight that you probably won't win. But that does mean that IG will continue building this lead as they pressure onto the tier 3 mid.
I can think of a risk-averse region that's not represented in semifinals, and that's Korea. So risk-averse has been a style that's very difficult to pilot, and with how much of a lead IG already have, you might just be watching on as the Nexus explodes.
And they're pushing towards this base with no Baron. This is not a typical play. Usually you see a team want to go for Baron before you go for this. Shy going to be taking some damage now. Ning on the front line, barely getting himself away. Nice disengage from Balan. As Perks goes forward, World Ender activated, so he's not really afraid of dying. But that's going to be a big ultimate expended there by G2. IG decide to back themselves away with their jungler low.
Yeah, and Jankos without his ultimate as well. I mean, IG is just enforcing their will upon G2. They're forcing them to look for that engage. They're saying, well, you're just going to lose the turret. Jace and Jackie Love, this Lucian, is they're sieging so aggressively because they have the power, because they are grouped up at the proper time.
And that's about the timing there, Azael, is that because it's early, the Jace is an oppressive siege machine that can walk up. And we're not talking about 1-3-1s at all from the side of IG. It's just pure siege, something that we've seen sparingly in the World Championship. Much more 1-3-1 and team fight. IG, they fall back, they control the map, and the items only get sweeter for Rookie.
It's Duskblade for Rookie, and it's Oblivion Orb plus Sorcerer's Shoe for the Shy. This is so much flat penetration on these high damage carries against a team that, as you guys mentioned, you got a 2-stack Rod of Ages. You got half of a Sterix Gauge. You've got no defense whatsoever on the bottom laners, and G2 will melt to this damage.
You've got control wards in a dream about contesting the Baron. Captain Flowers, that's
Control
honestly...
wards and a dream and a mana crystal.
It doesn't help you get more damage, but they certainly need to keep this Baron alive. If it goes down, you can just see the Nexus going down very, very promptly. Afterwards, looking at the total damage dealt, seems like Rookie in this Aatrox matchup. Again, it's a skill matchup later. Early game, it's just a ranged champion wailing away on a melee champion, and to the tune of 5 times the damage dealt.
Let's see if this fight actually turns into a whole lot here in the G2 jungle. Kiernan and Jankos both took the brunt of that accelerated shot blast from Rookie, who is not afraid of anything right now. He says, Perks, you can jump forward. Let me show you how to jump.
And now what we're seeing is IG invading the jungle, getting full vision control. They're going to bounce between top and mid lane and just make it so G2 has no access to even get that vision over by the Baron. And this gets so difficult now for G2 to check into this area, knowing that the Assassins could be waiting there. And look at that Shock Blast. That's one Shock Blast, and Yarden basically has to go back to base.
The pressing problem also is they don't even get the mid lane minion wave. They can't get to Raptors. Their income is whatever IG damn please them to pass over. And you get suffocating moments like this where even between inner and inhibitor turrets, IG do roam.
Ning doing a good job stepping out of the way of those chains, prioritizing, walking to the side, and he's so tanky on the Jarvan, he doesn't really care. He knows that there's enough damage already on his team. He's gone for the full tank build with the Knight's Vow into the Cinderhulk. Also has a stopwatch in case he gets the one who's jumped on, as now Yarden is going to be in some trouble, gets himself dunked into the back line, goes Ning, goes into the stasis right now. Jackie Love grabbed the first kill, as IG will push even further in. They do lose Ning, but they're still continuing to look to make those plays. Perch is in World Ender, going to go into Resurrection. Wonder trying to find the damage on the Demonic Ascension, but he won't be able to get really anyone. Balon over the wall could be in some trouble. Instead, it's going to be a killing spree for Jackie Love. And IG win yet another fight.
They're diving the inhibitor turrets at 24 minutes here. The minion wave already set up. It's another turret going the way of IG. All 6 have now been cracked.
Regular season IG meets World Semifinals, and World Semifinals are found wanting. They continue to dive. They continue to ramp up the game. G2, they just need time, but that time is not going to be allowed by IG.
IG has not missed a beat this game.
No.
They got ahead, they stayed ahead, and they did it because of plays like this.
And it's all about where it is. It's between inner and inhibitor turret. Yarden almost ends up straight up cold. He would have died to the entire channel if not for any interrupt. Stasis available so Ning can reset, and IG just want blood.
Yeah, and you had to think that this was maybe a chance for G2 to turn something around, diving that deep. But IG too strong, too far ahead. The use of the Shroud here for Akali, and Baolen jumping over to protect him. As soon as the Demonic Ascension is down, Jackie Love just dashes aside and takes down Wonder. There's no real way for them to retaliate this far behind.
The only person on IG that has even died is Ning.
Yep.
Because he knows that on this comp, he is the meatball. And that's his entire purpose, as he just continues stacking those tank itemizations as the rest of the team just masses damage.
You just have to engage. There's more than enough follow-up here.
Speaking of engage, he sets Jackie up for a rampage, and IG is now set up for a mid-lane push. It's tier 3 turret under siege. They'll knock that one down, no problem whatsoever. Inhibitor will fall next, as 4 members of G2 now wonder, how in the hell are we going to hold this here at the Nexus turrets? Jackie going forward, looking to find a couple shots there, getting that damage. Shy's on the front line. It's going to be damage given down on the Perks now here as well. Balon throws up the shield. Shy looking to find damage on the back line too. Perks in the front line won't be able to do much of anything. Goes into Resurrection immediately. Turret falls, 1 left standing, as now Wonder's going to be the target. Goes into stasis to buy a couple of extra seconds. Has to get himself away. Shy still looking to make something happen. It's 2 seconds of burn and free spawn, but G2's already losing everyone else. With Diz going to be brought very low. They try to go back in and find the counterattack, but Yankees can't quite do it. It's a double kill over to Rookie, but Wonder gets the shutdown onto him. Ning, Balon, Jackie, they're all on the Nexus turret while Shy just dashes around and kites everyone else through the smoke. IG has managed to find themselves most of the fight, but they won't be able to grab the Nexus just yet. They retreat away for now.
G2 holds just barely there, as IG do get both the Nexus turrets, but the respawn of Yarden and using that well to heal back up time and time again, just barely by the skin of their teeth, keep them alive.
But IG is styling guys that getting kills. Rookie's going for extra gold. They know this game will inevitably end. They can't find the end right now, but what about now?
Oh, Ning doesn't need the end when he can find Wonder like that, and that's going to be Jackie set up to find himself a double kill over to IG's AD carry. 6, 0, and 3 on this Lucian. Ban my Xayah, ban my Kai'Sa, I don't care. Taking it straight to him.
They're just trying to destroy the morale, destroy the mental of G2 with this ending here by staying for so long. Most teams in the world reset. China and specifically Invictus Gaming keep hitting you as hard as possible. While this game will extend in terms of game timer, the gold lead is already 12,000.
Yeah, and you have to think that the Baron is all but guaranteed here for IG. Is one more time onto Yarden. Flash was down from the top lane dive, and there was just no way out.
This was a long time ago also, this replay. We had to cut towards the end of it. This is where resetting is probably smart. We're low levels and not as many items on many. But Jackie Love is the MVP. He's the El Presidente here. He's got so many buffs with the Zeke's convergence. Also, the Night Spell. How about a Baron buff to join it?
No reason not to, right? It's on the map, it's alive, you want it to be dead, and off the map, might as well accomplish both of those things here. But now, as IG's currently sitting at a 12,000 gold lead, 2 Drakes up. They've got all the turrets they could possibly dream of, and look at the items. It's Guardian Angel on Rookie, ready to go. This is a nightmare for G2.
I mean, Jackie just bought a full IE. He just bought a full IE after that last fight, after the Baron, after all the extra gold that he had picked up. I mean, this is 4 full items for Jackie Love, 2 in pieces for Hjarnan, and this just seems like it is all done but the crying.
And this is the Prodigy AD carry who's still 17 years of age. If they make the final, will still be 17 years of age. Coming to age on this big pressure match. They're able to roll through. Wadid's looking for a flank.
Wadid trying to make some sort of a final stand here as G2 have to find their fight. Perk's going to be taken very low. Ning already grabbed the kill down onto Hjarnan in the back line. Balon grabs the kill onto Wadid here too. Wonder trying to stand and make some sort of a defense, but everyone else has already gone. A double kill over to Ning. And IG gets the clean ace, and they'll take the whole base. Game 1 goes to Invictus Gaming.
And what an incredible performance from this LPL team, really showcasing their solo lane dominance. This is the way that a lot of people thought they could